Hello, Mama T back here again on this Saturday morning, getting ready to do some makeup with you. Of course, you're going to hear my husband outside with the motor running because, you know, it's like I say, I'm going to go do a video. And he's like, well, I got to run outside and make some noise. You know, why are men like that? That just seems to be the way it is. I guess because he does that on Saturday and I do this on Saturday. So the roaring type noise you hear in the background, that's my husband. He's out getting leaves up out of the yard. He's one of these that if he sees a single leaf fall, he's got to go out there and get it up. He does not let them build up. So today we are going to do Maybelline. And you know, I was thinking Maybelline is a product that's been around for many years, kind of like CoverGirl, but I haven't used it. I think I mentioned in my last video I had purchased a Maybelline lip gloss or lipstick, and it was real gummy, sticky, and so I sent it back. But I've been trying these products all week, and they're pretty good. I've already done all of washed my face and done all of my skincare. I put on some Catrice under eye brightening and some Milani eyeshadow primer. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Maybelline Baby Soft Instant Pore Eraser. This stuff here feels so good on your face. It's just like you're wiping something satiny over your face. It's a clear product, and you're supposed to put it where you don't want your pores to show, but it just has such a good feel to it. So of course, you know, our nose, or in my case, the nose and down here on my chin, that's where I have the most pores. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and I'm just going to use this kind of like a primer. I did not put a primer on, so let's just slap some up there too. Why not? We might as well, haven't we? So there, that is the Maybelline Baby Skin. I really like this stuff. Like I say, it has a real satiny feel to it. It feels really good on the face. So while all that soaks in, you know me, I like to go to my eyes next. And I got the Maybelline, the Blushed Nudes palette. I ordered this off of Amazon and I like it pretty good. It's got a lot of pretty colors in it. They also have one called the Nudes, but this is the Blushed Nudes because it's got more of the blush colors in it. So I'm going to take my BK Beauty 203 and I'm going to go, let's see. We'll go in this light pink color right here. And to me, this palette that I got from Maybelline is not very pigmented, you know, which is okay. That way you don't get too much, but it's like I feel like I have to keep going back and back and back just to get anything to come out. And maybe I just got one that's not that great, and you can see some powder flying. So you can see I'm really digging in there to get it, and you can see it a little bit, not a whole lot, but you know, it's okay. Then I'm going to take a little e.l.f. eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to go into this darker pink color right here. Oh, I guess I could tell you what those colors are. Let me grab those glasses. I got them laying right here. Isn't that amazing that I actually remembered for once? The first color I used was called... Okay, never mind. Just forget I said that. Let's pretend like I never said that because I don't see the color. I don't see the colors. I do see like instructions, quads, trios, duos. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, we're going to go to this. Just pretend like I never even brought that up. I'm going to keep my eyes kind of open. I mean, not closed, because I have that skin there. And see, I have to keep digging in there, which, you know, is unusual for most eyeshadows I've been using. Even last week, the Dollar Tree eyeshadow, that Marie Claire, it was very pigmented. So I don't know what the deal is with this one, unless it being, you know, it's called blush, so maybe it's intended to be that way. I don't know. But I just keep going back and getting a little bit more. Of course, I don't want to put too much at one time and make them any more of a mess than we all know I'm going to do anyway. But keep swiping it on there. That looks pretty good. I like that pink color though. Once you get it to come on there, it's a pretty color. And then I'm going to go back to that first brush. I think I'll go over here on this white color, put some up under my eyebrow, swiping through my eyebrow to get off any stuff that may be in there. Okay, and then I'm going to, you know, I always like to put something shiny on the lid, even though whoever said we weren't supposed to as older ladies, you know, too bad. I'm going to do what I want to do. I am going to, I don't know. None of these are real shiny. This really dark one here looks really shiny. So you know what? Let's, oh, look at that. All right, knocking stuff down. Oh my, yeah, that's not, oh dear. Yeah, that's not gonna brighten up my eye, is it? Okay, well, we did it on one, we gotta do it on the other. It's on there now. Oh my, oh goodness. Now see, I'm talking about it not being very pigmented, and look at that. The darkest color in here is full of pigment, isn't it? My goodness, okay. Let me clean some of this up. So yeah, you may not want to do that if you're wanting to go for a lighter color look, because wow, that one is really dark. Okay, we'll just kind of wipe some of it off, a bunch of it. But you know, it's like I saw somebody else say, if you do one eye, you got to do the other eye. So if you mess up on one eye, go ahead and mess up the other. And then when you fix them, they'll look better. So let's just go back into this white one over here. Let me make sure I'm not using that same dirty finger that has that dark color. Oh, yeah, it's not gonna lighten it up a lot, but that's okay for today. We'll just let it go. But you know, I know in the future, don't do that. I hadn't done that this week. I have used other colors and they've been fine. So, you know, why did I decide I'm gonna come on camera and do it? I don't know, because I just make crazy decisions like that. There, I tried to put a little bit of this silver shiny color, but you know, oh well, it is what it is. It's not too, it still looks pretty good, even with that dark color. I may put a little more of this darker pink, trying to cover up some of that dark, whatever that, yeah, it's not gonna do any good. It's not gonna matter, but that's okay, it'll be all right. Once we get everything on, nobody will notice that. Okay, so that's all I'm gonna do with this, the Blush Nudes palette. Done with that one. Done with the eyeshadow brushes. I have you all stacked up again, still in my bathroom, as we normally are on Saturday, because, you know, I hadn't figured out what else to do. Next thing I'm going to use is the Maybelline Express Brows. And I have been pleasantly surprised by this eyebrow pencil. I mean, I love e.l.f. eyebrow pencil. That's my favorite. I love it. But this thing, it has a, try to get it where you can see it. It has a kind of a slanted end on one side with the color. And then the other side has this pointy, spongy brush type thing. And from what I read, there's a powder on that side. I thought it was just a brush, but you know, I open stuff, throw the packaging away, and then I'm like, So I actually looked it up on the internet, and it said that there's a powder in there that helps color your brows also. So I'm going to start with the slanted side. I like this because I know some people like a really thin eyebrow pencil, so you could use that very tip and do it very finely. Not me. I like the big fat part. We get it done, get it over with. And so I just go swiping up in there. And then you can flip it around and you have that spongy powder side, and it puts more color in there. Only thing about this pencil is it doesn't have a spoolie, but you know, we probably all have many of those from old eyebrow pencils, or, yep, there you can hear my husband's lawnmower. Or we have them, I have these that I got at Amazon that you use and then throw away. So I'm going to use one of those here in just a minute. Yeah, especially needed on that side. This color is probably a little dark for me, but that's okay. You know, as I get older, I like for my eyebrows to be darker. And you know, I remember my grandmother, who's been dead many years, she would, even if she didn't wear any other makeup, she would have her black, and I think she used Maybelline eyebrow pencil on it, and she would put that stuff on her eyebrows whether she did anything else or not. And I used to think, well, why? Well, she did have dark hair though, so I guess that's why she used such a dark color. But she always made sure she had those eyebrows on. And now that I'm getting older, I can understand that. I didn't used to do that so much. I would barely swipe across mine, but I've gotten to where now, you know, I want them to show up. I think it makes a big difference in how your makeup looks if you do your eyebrows. And you know, they're not the easiest thing in the world to do. So this I'm finished with this eyebrow pencil. On the spongy powder side, it has a round end, and that's how I know which side to put on which, because the spongy powder end is rounded and the other side is just like a normal eyebrow pencil. So that's that, and I think that looks pretty good. Again, I have one of these disposable spoolies that I bought off of Amazon, and I just bend it because to me it helps go into your eyebrows better. Okay, next we're gonna curl these eyelashes. Attempt to, as I say, because they are so short. But we'll try it. You know, I'm not giving up on them. And I've been doing this many years with the eyelash curler, and I just keep doing it. You know, I think maybe one day it'll change and it will miraculously curl my eyelashes. But so far that hadn't happened, but I'll keep trying just because I'm used to doing it. And if I weren't on here doing a video, I would hold it longer than I do on here. You know, still press it really hard, trying to get those lashes to curl. I did not purchase a Maybelline mascara because, you know, we know my struggle with mascara too, and I thought I'm just not going to waste my money. So I'm going to go in with my Thrive tubing mascara. You know, I do that every time. Have you noticed? I told you last week my bathroom vanity, it's like double sink, and then it comes in and it drops down. And this one edge right here, every time I go to do my mascara, I hit because I'm sitting down. So in case you hear that knock noise, that's me banging my elbow on the vanity. Doesn't hurt, I just thought I'd let you know that's what that was, because it drops down like that. So here I go with my Thrive Cosmetics mascara that I love. Again, it's a tubing mascara. That's why it works well for me, because it has those little tubes that it distributes throughout your eyelashes and makes them appear to be thicker and longer. Mine are kind of thick, they're just not long at all. So there we go. That's that. It's pretty good. I'm going to wait on the bottoms till I get my concealer on. And that's what I'm going to go to next. And I actually have two different concealers. Of course, I have the, I want to say magic eraser. I have the eraser, Maybelline eraser, that you can use as a concealer. And I also purchased another concealer from Maybelline. And I don't think it says on it, but it's a real skinny little bottle, you know. And I don't remember how much it costs, but probably less than $10, but for such a small little, I mean, it is really a skinny little bottle. You're not going to get a lot of uses. But I know everybody has seen the eraser, which I really like. I think it works good, so I'll go ahead and use this other one. It also has a very tiny little doe foot. Yeah, I don't know what Maybelline was thinking when they come up with this idea, because it's not, you know, it's like there's not much to it. So I'm going to put that on. I may need a little bit more, but we'll start with that. I'm going to take my Angie Hot and Flashy concealer brush, start brushing that in. And at first, when I saw this concealer, of course I ordered it on the internet, which I do most things. I don't like going in the stores too much. Even though I do love Walmart and Dollar Tree, I attempt to stay out of them as much as possible, as you know, because I spend too much money. I find I do better if I just order it from Amazon, Amazon or Walmart, but normally Amazon, because they have the best deals. But I thought this color, when I first saw it, I thought, oh, it's too light, but it's really not. It works out about right. Let me see if I can tell what that color is. Grab my glasses here. I thought it told on there what the color was, but it says Maybelline New York. And I think, yeah, there's no color on it, and I think they are similar to e.l.f. You know, if you take the outer packaging off, and that's where the color's listed. So anyway, it's a light color, probably ivory or natural, something like that. I don't go all the way to fair, but I usually go up from there a little bit, 1 or 2 steps, because, you know, I'm not fair, but I'm not dark either. So, you know, it's a guessing game. That's what I think anyway. Next thing, I'm going to go in with my foundation. I got the Maybelline Fit Me foundation, and I put a pumper cap on this. It did not come with a pump. It just has the lid. There's my color, 112 Natural Ivory. So I purchased this pump. It came in a pack of 2 off of Amazon for like $6.98 or something like that. So, and I got the one specifically for Maybelline Fit Me foundation because I don't like that other kind of lid. You know, it's just so much easier to have a pump. So I'm just going to pump some on the back of my hand, and that's so much better than trying to pour that out of that bottle. You know, I make enough messes on my own. I don't need any help making any messes. So I'm going to go in here with the foundation. I really like this foundation. I don't know why I haven't used Maybelline in, gosh, you know, I can't even remember how long, many years it's been. But it's a good product. I like it. I might should have used a sponge instead of this brush because I can see, well, they say to stipple it. Yeah, you see what a mess that is? Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're going to swap it. But I can actually see the brush lines in there. So probably, it is a little runny for some reason. So I guess that's why I should have used a sponge. But we've got this, and that's what we're going with. On my nose, where I had that baby skin pore hider thing. I forget what, you know, I already forget what it's called. Pore eraser. I'm gonna get another little squirt to go on my forehead because I didn't have enough. Probably because I put too much on the rest of my face. But that's okay, and we'll just start blending that in as best we can. Again, if you're going to try this, you may want to use a sponge, but you know, it's up to you. Use whatever you want to. All right, there's no rules. I was gonna say ain't, you know, I'm from the South, so you'll hear me saying that. Y'all and ain't and all that. That's just how I grew up. That's how I am. So, and I know somebody made fun of me one time because I say, when I go to the grocery store, the carts you use, I call it a buggy, which I've watched other people's videos and they call it that also. So it's not just me. But you think about it, isn't that a really odd name for a shopping cart to call it a buggy? A buggy is one of those things you ride in back in the old days, right? I don't know. And I had to laugh at my grandson the other day. He watches, you know, videos and plays games online and stuff. And we went to Walmart and he says, "Do we need a trolley?" I'm like, "Trolley? Are you in England?" I just thought it was kind of funny. And he's like, "What?" I said, "Nothing." I thought it was really cute that he called it a trolley because I think that's what they call them over in England. But anyway, it was funny. Next, I'm going to use this Maybelline Fit Me Poreless Matte plus Poreless Powder. And this is in 120 Classic Ivory. And I do like this. The only thing is I prefer, and it's got the little puff down in there if you want it. It's got a mirror, and then it's got the powder. I think though that I really prefer this would be a pressed powder, so the not pressed, whatever. I can't, you know, as usual. And I have my LA colors. You're stacked up on it, so I can't see what that's called. But that other kind of powder that's not pressed, I think I like it better. So I just take my little Kingmas brush here that I love and start putting some under my eyes first. And I think the concealer, the foundation, and the powder all work pretty well. Then I go to my big BK Beauty 102 powder brush and start putting it on the rest of my face. I've noticed though it doesn't take a lot. It goes really well. And you don't have that flyaway like you do with the other kind. That other, you know, as soon as I get off of here, I'll remember what that other kind of powder is called. But right now, yeah, I can't remember. But it's not pressed. It's in, you know, you shake it out in the lid, and you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, that's about enough of that. I like that powder. I think it works good. But I also like that LA Colors powder I used last week. You know, it was just as good in my opinion. And it was a lot cheaper. I actually have two. Well, let me use my bronzer first. I got the Maybelline City Bronzer. If it has a color, I don't know. I don't see it. It just says Maybelline City Bronzer. So I'm going to take my little double-sided brush here, and I'm going to use the smaller end to go into the bronzer and start putting some of that on. You know, I actually think I like a cream bronzer better. This is all right, but I don't know. It's just something about the cream ones. I think they blend in, of course. Of course they do. I mean, it makes sense that a cream would blend in better than a powder would. And two, here we are putting, or I am putting powder on top of powder. So maybe well, I was going to say maybe I should have done this before I put powder on. But then again, the powder then would cover up the bronzer. So there we go. That's pretty good. I like that. I think it's a pretty color. Just wish I do maybe 200. I think that's what it is. There's a 200 on there, so I think that's the color. Then I have two different blushes. Maybelline Fit Me, two different colors. And let's see. Yeah, it's got some other language on here. French, fard, something. Fard with a D, not a D. Oh, I know y'all think I'm crazy. The colors, I don't know. I don't know. We're just going to pick one and use it. It doesn't really matter. They're really close. This one's a little bit lighter, so I'll go with the one that's a little bit darker. I'm going to use that same brush, go to the bigger side, get some of that on the brush, put it up above the bronzer. You know, what is the difference in bronzer and contour? I don't know. I mean, don't they do basically the same thing? You know, I'm not... I guess the contour would be considered what they put on their nose and all these places all over their face to contour their face. I guess that's the difference. Whereas a bronzer, you wouldn't do that. But I don't know. They look about the same to me. I just use them both the same way. So let's see. Let's see what I'm forgetting, because I'm sure there's something. I'm going to go back and do my bottom lashes. And of course, I know we have to do our lips. And I do have several Maybelline lipsticks. I do like their lipstick. I think it's a very good product. It stays on pretty good. I told you last week about that one I'd bought and made my lips stick together. I thought they were going to be permanently glued, so I took it back because, you know, normally I would have just kept it or threw it away, but I paid $10 for that. And I thought, no, I'm going to return it. And they let me return it, and they gave me my money. You know, you wonder what they do with them. I had used it so they can't sell it to somebody else. And it used to be that Amazon was really good, that if you go to return something like that, they'd just say, you know, keep it, dispose of it, whatever. Not these days. Back when there was COVID, they were like that. But these days, they're like, no, no, you go and you ship that back to us. And then they get to throw it away. And I can understand it in some ways, because if not, people would just keep wanting their money back and using the product. So I can understand it. Okay, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? I don't think that's too bad. Even with the black eyes on there. That wasn't supposed to turn out that way, but it did. So I also have this lifter by Maybelline. Lifter stick is called. Not really sure what I'm supposed to do with that either. We'll put some, and see, it's a cream. I've already got all these powders on my face. I don't know what it's supposed to lift, but you know, I can use all the lifting I can get. If it lifts, that would be just terrific. But, you know, I don't really see that it does anything. I think you can actually use that as a foundation, I think. Or a concealer. It would work for either one. Okay, so that's all of that. Next, we're going to do our lips. And I did purchase this week. I'd gone to CVS, and they had their Maybelline products. They had them on sale if you bought two, plus you got like $6 in extra bucks cash. So I did buy two things. And this, what was the other one I bought? I don't even know now which of these products I bought. Maybe the bronzer, but anyway. So I got this Superstay ink crayon. Superstay ink crayon. Let's see. I've been trying not to pull. It says it has a sharpener. Oh, look at that. Huh. Wonder what you're supposed to do with that. You know, I'm such an expert in these matters. I don't know this color. Again, oh goodness, here's some teeny tiny writing. Let me see if I can see. Yeah, 145, Break the Ceiling. Well, isn't that odd? It's kind of an odd name, but whatever. It's a pretty color. I like it. I don't know why it gives you a sharpener, because it's one of those twist up things, so I don't know. Okay, so I'm actually going to use this as my lip liner, because I don't have any Maybelline lip liners. I think I got every other brand but that. So. And I'd already bought so much, I didn't want to buy any more. You know, that's the thing about it. You make these videos and you go to buy all this from one brand and it ain't cheap. And I've heard other people say that, and it's true. It's not. So that's that. And I could use that over my whole lip and it'd be really pretty. But I'm not going to, because I also have a lipstick that matches it really well. And it is, let me get my glasses. Isn't that aggravating? My headband. This is not a Dollar Tree headband today. This is one I'd ordered off Amazon. Oh yeah, lipstick rouge something or other. Again, that other language, which must be French. 376 is the color number, pink for me. See if I'd look in the right place, I could find this stuff, but oh well. So there's that color. I think it's really pretty, and you see it matches that ink crayon. They look like about the same color. So I'm gonna put that on. And now I see what a mess I made with that. And I do find that when I use that lip crayon, I kind of overdraw my lips, but that's okay because they're so small, especially up here on top. So as long as it's not real noticeable, I like it. Of course, I don't want it to be real noticeable that they're overdrawn, because, you know, then that looks really strange too. But there's that. It's pretty good. And then the final thing we're going to do is I did get some of the, oh, this is the other thing I bought at CVS. I got the this thing, and I got this. And it's the Lasting Fix setting spray. And I like it. It works pretty good. I'm going to spray it across my face. I've noticed, though, this week that, you know, because I've been using this makeup all week, that it doesn't seem to last all that long, even though it's supposed to be lasting makeup, especially on my cheeks, which, you know, you can see I don't put it on real heavy, but it's like by the end of the day, I couldn't tell I had anything on. The eyeshadow's good, the eyebrow pencil's good, and lipstick's good. It lasts, you know, for a while. But the foundation and the blush, bronzer, to me it just didn't seem like it stayed on very well at all. But I'm really bad to rub my face, so you know that could be part of it. But isn't that why we use that setting spray? I thought that was supposed to help with that. I'm going to use my little fan from Amazon. I just am pressing that button, let it get up in there, which this has already, whoa, this is already dried pretty well. I love this little fan, and the other day I saw they had them for like $12 and something, so that was a really good deal. If I remember, I'll link it down in the comments. And anything I link down there, of course, I don't make anything off of this. I'm a new YouTube channel, so trust me, I'm not an affiliate. They're not going to pay me. They're not going to sponsor me. I'm too small for all that. But, you know, I just figure, I like when I watch somebody use stuff, you know, what is that, fear of missing out or whatever, I want it too. So that's the only reason I put stuff down under in the descriptions and link it, so that if you wanted that, then you could get one also. Okay, I'm going to go put my rollers in my hair, and I'll come back and finish up. Okay, so this is my final look using all Maybelline products, well, except of course my Thrive mascara that I have to use. So that's it for today's video. We'll come back next Saturday and do a different kind of makeup. It starts with LA and ends in colors, maybe? Anyway, we'll try that next week. So I hope you have a great day, the rest of your weekend, and a good week, and we'll see you next time.